the song Doom Squirrel is really, really cool. It's a 10-minute epic song. How is it that you can put out a single that as long as 10 minutes?
I mean, I think when you're on your 8th album, you can do whatever you want.
So you get your own label?
We have our own label. We have no one to tell us what to do, what not to do.
How do you come up with such a long and song with very different parts? It's a bit trip hop, a bit Britpop, rock, dance. Does it start with bits of song you put together, or is it something you build from scratch to be like this?
It was from scratch, and it was a really interesting process, I think, because it wasn't like we want to make a 10.5-minute song. It wasn't a concept. We were just working on this feeling, and then it was like the feeling hadn't been expressed fully until we got to 10.5 minutes. So it started with a piece of music that Jimmy wrote with Liam, who we work really closely with, this like the electronic beginning, and then I wrote to that, and then I felt like there should be a piano ending, so I brought something in, and Jimmy was like, "Oh man, we gotta develop that." So we did, and then you came up with the Britpop guitar. I'm so glad you get the reference there. And I was like, "Oh man, I love that." And so we just kind of eventually got to the end. We were like, "I think this is the end now." And it's funny because I don't know. I would love to know your experience of hearing it, because to me, it doesn't feel like a 10.5 minutes.
Yeah.
You just.
Yeah, really, it's you don't see the time.
You're not looking at your watch. Yeah, it's weird. It's just emotional, right? Like.
But me, I'm a Pink Floyd fan, so 10-minute songs, that's nice actually.
You and me both.
Or perhaps the Radiohead one with Paranoid Android, with very different parts inside. I like when it's change.
Same, me too. Yeah.
I got the lyric of the album thanks to Sarah, and there's this song called Enemies of the Ocean. At first I was thinking, it's a song about the environment, but actually not at all. It's rather about people growing apart, I think. But I don't really understand the metaphor perhaps on this page. Enemies of the Ocean, what were you thinking about with that?
Well, there are two continents that are divided, North America and Europe. And right there in the middle is that ocean. It's very problematic for people who are trying to stay together. And when one is on the one continent and the other, it's like, ocean.
The album starts perhaps on a dark mood, but I think it gets a bit better as the song when you come to the end. Does it reflect perhaps how you lived through the pandemic?
Yeah.
Did you want to end up perhaps with a brighter note, or is it something that just happened?
Well, when we came up with the sequence for the album, we kind of discovered that's what was happening, that it starts with a lot of like confusion and frustration and anxiety and darkness. And by the end, it kind of, it's found its own freedom, and there's kind of like, you sort of are witness to the process of someone finding freedom and letting go. And I think in a lot of ways, that's what happened to us and a lot of people throughout the pandemic. And it wasn't necessarily our intention to time it that way and to make the album progression that way. But when we discovered that that's kind of what had happened, it felt right, because it is kind of what we were experiencing.
And in the sequence, the way the beginning, all those songs are very, as Jimmy's saying, like anxiety and stress and, like what feels like eternity is just like head down, don't look up, grind along, and then you get to that moment when the Budapest Art Orchestra plays the strings. And it's almost like you made it to Formentera, which is like an imaginary place, even though it's real. But for those of us who can't go there, right now or ever. It's an imaginary place that you can escape in your mind. I feel like that happens on the record. Like the strings take you in.
Yeah.
Okay. You're going to start a big tour, I think 40 gigs in Canada and the US, with spending, like 2 years without touring. How do you feel about being for so long on the road?
I think we're excited.
I think we're excited. I'm also really excited to come to Europe, which we haven't announced the dates yet, but it's going to be in February.
February
So,
for France?
yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a high point.
Yeah.
So for the European tour, do you have a gig in Spain?
Not sure yet. I know why you think we should go to Formentera.
Yeah, it's the obvious question.
That's what I was thinking, like, because right now it's just it's such a metaphor that I feel like it's too literal to just actually go there. So I think at the end of the tour, an European tour, that would be a good reward.
Yeah.
Do you think when you made a place like this, like semi-mystical, can it live up really to what you fantasize, what you dream of?
I've been there. It's that good.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've never been, but hopefully they give us the key to Formentera by the end of the album cycle. It's either that or we'll get banned and never allowed in. I don't know, one of the two.
It's funny though, you mentioning Pink Floyd fan. I discovered that they did that film called More, that concert film, and it's filmed in Formentera. People thought it was Ibiza, but it's the 70s in Formentera, when you like the mystical side of the place, which we've made even more mystical by turning it into an imaginary place. But there's a club there called Club Typique that they played in the 70s, and I was doing all this research, and I was like, this is the amazing tie-in, and then it's like, oh man, place is closed due to fraud or something in the last couple of years. But I love that there's some Pink Floyd history in Formentera.